I really appreciate that you, in the same response, said back knee and hypothalamic.
Right.
I just love that. Welcome back to DocTalk. I'm Lissa Kline. Today we're going to be talking about male birth control. It's been making the news. Really excited to talk about it.
Very excited.
Timely for Men's Health Week this week. I'm here with Dr. Janet Choi. So, Dr. Choi, there's a birth control for men that's making the headlines. I'm really interested in this topic. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I think it's actually very exciting, particularly because backdrop, when you look at some of the surveys and statistics, half of men surveyed actually said that they would willingly participate and use contraceptives so long as it was, no surprise when I talk to my husband, for instance, it's uncomplicated, has to be super simple and reversible. And so this new version of a male hormone contraceptive is particularly exciting because it's easy to use. The older versions, I think you and I were just talking about this off camera, requires high-dose hormone injections for men. Lots of side effects, total nuisance because you have to go to the doctor's office every 2 months. This one is a clear gel that the guy can just put on their shoulders each day, wash their hands, and go on with their life.
Love it. So there's two hormones in this gel, estrone and testosterone.
Yep.
I think most people have heard about testosterone. Can you talk about what estrone does and what it is?
So estrone is a synthetic progestin, and it's actually used in a female contraceptive vaginal ring as well. And the way these synthetic progestins work as contraceptives is it works in your brain control center at the pituitary level, the hypothalamic level, to suppress your own FSH-LH. This is getting a little science nerdy here. And that actually lowers, for males, the testosterone production, which then leads to lower sperm production, which is what you're trying to accomplish with a contraceptive.
Love it.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the clinical trial? I think that's what's been in the news lately. Can you tell us a little bit about that clinical trial and if there are any side effects?
Yep. So from what I could glean, because this just came out in the past few days, is it's an NIH-funded phase 2B clinical trial. So they're looking at safety and efficacy in a smaller population of individuals before they broaden the scope. And they closed the study because they were so excited with the results. They enrolled about at least 222 men from what I could read. And what they found was not only were there very few side effects, maybe a little bit more back knee, but that it was very easy to use. 86% of the men got their sperm counts down to under 1 million per milliliter within 15 weeks of treatments. And that's a lot short of a time for effectiveness than some of the older studied versions of hormone contraceptives for males, where it could take up to 6 months. And the reason why that 1 million number, when you look at it from the fertility standpoint, you're like, oh, low sperm counts. You want low sperm counts, right, to really reduce the ability of a couple who wants an effective contraceptive of actually having an accidental pregnancy. So when I looked at some of the old studies looking at the higher dose testosterone, once you get it to under 1 million per milliliter of sperm, these older studies cite, I think it was a 98% efficacy rate. Don't hold me to the numbers. We still have to wait and see how this gel performs as well. And so that's going to be the next step of the phase 3 trials.
And oral contraceptive pills that females typically take are about 99%.
98%, so it's not so
similar.
Right.
I really appreciate that you, in the same response, said back knee and hypothalamic.
Right.
I just love that. So how does this birth control gel compare to other types of birth control? I think when we think about contraceptives or birth control, we're typically thinking about oral contraceptive pills called the pill or OCPs, the ring, the patch, and then, of course, condoms. How does this compare?
Lissa, come on. I mean, all of those, the burden is on the female in the partnership to actually use those different contraceptive medications. So it's really exciting that here's a contraceptive that the male partner, if they so choose to be the willing and able partner to sign on and use the contraceptive. So that's why I find it incredibly exciting. I think hopefully others in the country will too.
Is there any reason to say that in a heterosexual relationship, right, which is what we're talking about here, if the female chooses to be on the pill, he could also choose to be on this as double contraceptives?
That's a good comment. I think if you want to hedge your bets and get as much built-in reversible contraception involved to really, really drop your rates of having an accidental conception happening, it's not a crazy idea, but I think we have to wait and see. But yes, that's not a bad idea. And bear in mind, in this study, they seem to have enrolled only men who are in monogamous heterosexual relationships.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So things like birth control pill and this gel, they don't protect against STDs and STIs. So
Absolutely not.
So you should still use condoms for safer sex practices.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you want 100% sperm blockage and contraceptive activity, then you have to be looking as a male at a surgery called a vasectomy, where you get the vas deferens tied off or clipped off or snipped off. And so the nice thing about this kind of gel is that it's reversible. How long it's going to take once someone decides to stop using the gel to see when the sperm counts actually rebound up to normal range remains to be seen. But in the older studies, again, these were looking at the higher dose testosterone. From what I could glean, it could take up to about half a year to see those sperm counts to rebound. Given the fact that this gel actually has a lower dosage of testosterone in it, I'd be curious to see if there's a shorter wait time from stopping using the gel. Let's say a couple decides, all right, enough with the contraception. We want to actually now start trying to build our family, to getting to that normal count.
I love it. So what could this gel mean for us moving forward, like as another option? And when do you think predict it would be available over the counter or by prescription?
By prescription, I think we need to first wait and see the next phase of clinical research and trials to see the safety, all the safety data, all the efficacy, to see, again, these same kind of queries that I just sort of hypothesized about, like how long does it take for the sperm counts for a larger population event study to really drop to under 1 million? How effective is it really? Is it really like 98% effective in a large population of heterosexual couples? And how long is it going to take for the sperm counts once someone stops to, bounce back up to normal counts, as well as what are the potential side effects? I mean, happily, in this small population of 200 plus men studied, there were very few, but we need to sort of wait and see larger numbers.
I think it's great that people are continuing to make improvements, and I like the idea that this is topical, like it's a different type of birth control. So I'm glad that we could talk about it today. Anything else you'd talk about?
No, I mean, I love the fact that there's this exciting new option for the male. And we have to kind of wait and see. So don't run and ask your doctor right away for a prescription because it's not available yet. But fingers crossed, if it gets to the next phase of research and the FDA approves it, it'll be around.
And we could talk about how to help with acne on a future episode of DocTalk.
We'll get in our expert dermatologist.
Yes. This was great. If you have any questions or other topics you'd ever like us to talk about, please like, comment, subscribe. As always, love talking to my friend, Dr. Choi.
I love getting to spend more time with you.
Same. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon.